In this video, we will sketch, paint, and animate our first enemy game character. So I'll be following the same steps as I took when creating the player, meaning I'll start with the sketch. Here I'm just coming up with visual ideas for my enemy character. The first enemy I'm making is a melee character. In other words, in-game he'll basically be running fast towards the player, and when he reaches a certain small distance away from him, he'll make a small leap and deal our solemn white hero some damage. So as you can see, I'm sketching small little enemies. These aren't really meant to be impressive, scary, or extremely dangerous looking. I know this will be the first enemy the player will be encountering, and as a result, killing. So I'll try coming up with small, pathetic, and rather weak looking creatures. I'm also trying to make them look nimble and quick, because though they'll be easy to kill with their low HP, they should still be a little dangerous because of their speed and their numbers. So as I said during section 1, I've written down the idea and concept behind this enemy, which is helping me out while sketching. Okay, I think I'll run with this enemy concept. I'll grab my lasso tool, copy this crude little sketch, and then create a new Photoshop file and paste them there, lowering the opacity of that layer, setting my background to some dark color, and then begin to paint. Now of course, all the techniques we used for the player apply here as well, meaning we're painting each body part we wish to move independently on a different layer. This way we can then separate the various body parts on a new Photoshop file and export that into Unity for the slicing process inside of the sprite editor. I'm also keeping in mind while painting my character the light source used to paint my player, which I remind you was right on top of him. So I'll do the same for the enemy to keep things consistent, because the player and this enemy will be interacting and inhabiting the same scene. So it would look a little bit odd if they both had different light sources. As you can see, I'm painting my enemy in a very dark grey color. This will make a nice contrast with my glowing white player. Now note that when the enemy falls to 0 health, once hit by enough projectiles, they'll explode into a bunch of menacing particles and completely disappear from the game world. In other words, there will be no need to make any corpse sprite for each enemy. But of course, game development is all about being original and sharing your unique creative vision with others. So you can of course plan on having enemies once killed leave a mutilated corpse behind. Of course, you may very well not want to make a fast, weak creature like I'm making here to be part of your game world. Maybe you're not sure what you want and would rather prototype various enemy characters just using circles and squares. And if that's the case, as I said right at the start of this course, definitely don't hesitate skipping the art and animation related videos and tackling the programming parts with Liam straight away. Just use basic prototype graphics like squares and circles, program the various enemy behaviors and stats using those, and once you're satisfied, then come back to the art related section of the course to flesh out your enemies and really bring them to life. Alright, with that all said, I've now completed the art for this first enemy character. I'll now separate each body part, hide the background layer to make it transparent, and then export this file as a PNG inside of my Unity project. And you know the drill, I'll turn this sprite mode from single to multiple, hit apply, and enter the sprite editor. There I'll slice up the various pieces, making up my character into individual sprites. I'll then drag and drop into my scene view, renaming his various body parts and tweaking the order and layer inside the sprite renderer, so that some body parts render in front or behind others. I'll now rig this enemy, creating an empty game object called melee enemy for example, placing it at the center of my enemy, and then drag and dropping all sprites that make up that enemy character inside of that empty game object, so that when I move, rotate, or scale it, all sprites inside it will do the same thing. I'll then parent the head and arms to the body, and there we go, the character has been rigged. Now, as you can see, I didn't separate the eyes from the head this time, because I don't really feel the need to animate those independently. With all that done, I'll select my melee enemy root and head over to the animation window, hitting the create new animation button to create a new animation. And contrary to the player, we only need to make one animation for this enemy, a run animation that I'll be using when chasing after the player. So I'll call this animation run, and I'll actually follow the exact same steps I took when creating the player's run animation, making it a frantic, nervous, and jittery run. Awesome. And that's my first enemy game character complete. I can now turn him into a prefab, and in the next video you'll start bringing him to life with Liam using some simple C# code. So have fun, and I'll see you soon to create a scary, more dangerous enemy called the Summoner, who will spawn mini monsters to hunt the player down.